Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to TMP Finance, where you make long and short-term investing simple. Today, I want to take a quick look at the NASDAQ. I'm going to give a very simple and brief explanation of everything you need to know when it comes to trading the NASDAQ in the future. So without further ado, let's hop straight into it. Today on the NASDAQ, we moved up 0.73%, and that is typically good. You know, it's always good for the market to keep moving higher. However, we are still in a range, so this price action doesn't really mean much. So what can I see within the NASDAQ? Let's hop over to QQQ, and I'm going to show you a little bit more of a clear image of the market right here. So with QQQ, we can see here on the 1 hour chart that we are in a bit of a range here as we start to zoom in, and this is critical. We had this day here where the market moved down 4% in the futures market, and we got a pretty strong crash. I mean, this is really scary here. Tariff news from Trump. You got some tweets here. You got another tweet here about soybeans last night or something ridiculous. But here's the thing. Is this market manipulation, or is this really just the start of a bear trend, or maybe the beginning of a new one? Well, here's what I want to see. I want to see a very strong break above this level with something like a 1 hour to even 4 hour candle. That's going to give us a very clear insight to where we can expect to go. So if you are a bull, very simple. You're waiting for a break of this resistance line here to show that we're really not in this downtrend, so to speak. If we can exit above here, I can easily see us moving all the way up. And especially if we pass our previous all-time high of 612, that's a great indication that we're probably going to start moving higher. Now, how high do I think that we can move? I think within the short term, we can at least move to about $630 a share. This is right about where the Fibonacci level is, where our first Fibonacci level is for Invesco's QQQ. And then if we can't move up any higher, or if we do move up any higher, I would see to about $700. Again, psychological levels are what you need to keep an eye out for. $100 levels within the NASDAQ have played a massive critical support, or just a massive critical pivot moment. So if we take a look here, let's take a look at every time that we've touched a psychological level, a critical support here. $500 a share is where the market had topped out previously in 2024. We had a pullback all the way to about 422, and then when we were over 500, we moved very easily to about 540. When we broke below 500, then we had a very strong flush all the way down to 400. And with $400 a share here, we can also see that that was a massive support and resistance level before the market here. So why do I say that? We can zoom all the way back to 2022, and we can see that that 400 on the dot was pretty much an all-time high for the market as well. Now, why do I really care about this? Why am I mentioning this? Well, because for the bears, these are great take profit levels for you to keep an eye out for, or even if you are a bull and you're looking to place trades when we can get into cheaper, then you could be looking for these psychological levels. Now, speaking about psychological levels, the market, it went from a bottom of $400 a share, pretty exact, all the way up to $600 a share. In between that, we had no consolidation whatsoever, which is very uncommon to see. Not only that, we didn't even have a very clear trend. Obviously, it's an uptrend. Obviously, we made higher highs and higher lows, but not that many higher lows and not enough to even make a bull trend line. That being said, this market is very risky because you don't have parameters for your risk management. That being said, when I see that we make a very parabolic move from $400 to $600, a move of over 50%, that to me scares me. We don't have any consolidation, especially when we get over 600, and as soon as we do, we get this massive pullback within the daily candle, and I'll just show you, exiting out of the $602 level all the way down to about $590 a share. That's very scary there. What I see with this pattern here too, this is what I'm taking a look for. A massive pullback after a long, strong bull market, a bit of consolidation where we try to move higher, but the bulls failed to. I've seen this pattern happen back in August of 2024, and this is what it's looking like here, July, August. Same thing, nice moves to the upside here, very strong, and exit off of a brand new all-time high, which happened to be a psychological level. The market tried so hard for 3 days to try to get up, not with a lot of bullish price action though. You're not seeing the same kind of candles you were before to the left of this massive impulsive candle, just like how we're seeing currently within Invesco's QQQ. We're not really seeing those green candles. Not a lot of strength here. So if we are not able to hold this range here, we're not able to break out, I think it's very, very easy for for bears to be looking for a level all the way down to 500. If we can't do 500 and we do get a rejection, you will most likely see a rejection of 540. Again, previous all-time highs are always retested. The bear market that we had this year retested the 2022 all-time high. And you'll see that as a very common trend within the NASDAQ because, again, the market moves in this oscillating wave, so to speak, higher highs and higher lows, where you're always retesting previous all-time highs, just to make sure that we're all on the same page, we're ready to go higher. But this isn't here to scare you. I'm not calling an 80% market, 80% bear market. I'm not trying to get you to close your positions. I'm just saying be ready for what happens within the market. And this isn't scary. If we do pull back, I'm going to say, hey, just buy more. Very simple. Dollar cost average. But right now, what I'm saying is just wait for confirmation. And that's the best way for you to become a profitable trader. Whether you are a short-term or a long-term trader, that's what you're looking for here. Now, within the NASDAQ, it's been a fantastic year. That's definitely no doubt about that. We're currently beating the NASDAQ by about 280% year to date. That's after our 9 times leverage with our trades. And when I say our, you can find all the trades that I take in real time with take profits, stop losses, and percentage risk allocation over on our Discord. So if you want to take a look at that, you get all the insights, all the trades I do, take a look at that link in my description and you'll be able to get all the insights. Thank you very much for tuning in, and I will see you tomorrow. Later, y'all.